Spring is here, which means now is the time to save during spring outdoor power deals at the Home Depot. Power through cleanup with the Ryobi 18-volt ONE+ trimmer and blower combo kit, designed to deliver more runtime, more speed, and maximum performance. Then level up your yard work and expand your Ryobi lineup with the expanded edger or pruning saw, included at no extra cost when you buy the Ryobi combo kit. Shop spring outdoor power deals for 7 days at the Home Depot, now through April 29th.
Mom, can you tell me a story?
Sure. Once upon a time, a mom needed a new car.
Was she brave?
She was tired, mostly. But she went to Carvana.com and found a great car at a great price. No secret treasure map required.
Did she have to fight a dragon?
Nope. She bought it 100% online. From her bed, actually.
Was it scary?
Honey, it was as unscary as car buying could be.
Did the car have a sunroof?
It did, actually.
Okay, good story.
Car buying you'll want to tell stories about. Buy your car today on
Carvana.
Delivery fees may apply.
The Jazz, the Mammoth, and the Utes, Cougars, and Aggies. When it comes to sports in Utah, we've got you covered. This is Scotty G and the coach, Tim LeCaux, presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, it's Monday. It's a little rainy outside. Lloyd's going a little Milli Vanilli.
I'm going to lip sync this segment.
Yes, the whole segment. You know, it's honestly like we have a generation of TikTok stars that all they do is lip sync songs and put out videos.
And Milli Vanilli was shamed for
and
that.
Milli Vanilli had to give up a Grammy because of it.
Blame it on... Oh, the rain's being played. This is being played because the rain is destroying the plaza right now, apparently.
We're supposed to have all these great festivities going on in preparation for the game tonight, and Mother Nature has other ideas.
Did you hear the band the other night when you walked in? Were they going yet?
Yeah, they were going. They were solid. They were no party hounds, but they were good.
Good. Yeah, we were supposed to be out there, but couldn't make it happen.
Yeah.
But I heard it was good. I heard the band was good.
Yeah, they were solid. And that's, man, there's something about a live band. Like you go to a restaurant, you have a little live band in the corner. You're at just at a wherever, and you hear a live band in the background. It just makes everything
better. We need
better.
like a dinner show place here. You know what I mean? Like a place where you go and get food and jam.
There you go.
Yeah, we don't have it.
I know. Look, you're a lead singer in a band. So do you still do karaoke every now and then?
No.
No. Okay. You save that voice for the paying audience.
Well, it's just it's like once you've made the bigs, why go back and play double A? I mean, I'm singing big stages. I don't need to sing Applebee's Lounge.
I'm not giving away the milk for free.
No.
What am I doing here? All right, Mike Folta, he is the radio play-by-play voice for the Utah Mammoth. I'm sure you've been around a karaoke bar once or twice.
That's like you said, Scotty, for paying customers only. There's a steep cover when I start belting out Tennessee whiskey or country roads. That ain't for free. I'm not handing out those.
I love it.
Handing out those tones.
Good for you. Good for you. How much? Look, as a broadcaster, I was at the game just covering it as a radio schmuck. I can't imagine what it was like calling a game in that atmosphere. You got history twice. You got the first ever playoff victory, and now the first ever home playoff victory. Now you need to call the first ever playoff series victory.
Well, first of all, I just want to say, Tim, welcome to the show. You've been a great line mate for Scotty here to start, so excited to listen to more of you guys. But yeah, it was an incredible atmosphere the other night for game. Definitely a where were you type of night, and I was right at the top of the upper bowl, soaking it all in, and it was the type of sound that you could feel, right, more than you could hear it. And we have some cameras right next to us on Radio Row, and about halfway through the game, somebody from marketing came over and was trying to help out the cameras shoot the ice a little bit better, because when people would stand up and wave their rally towels, as they did oftentimes, the cameras had trouble shooting what was on the ice, because you have Rudy Gobert standing up in front of the camera, and it's blocking the view a little bit. So awesome work from Mammoth Nation to make things difficult from our TV crew, but make it so much fun inside the arena. And look, Utah just has to win 2 of the next 4 games to clinch their first ever Stanley Cup playoff series. Vegas has to win 3 of the next 4. So Mammoth have the upper hand, but I tell you what, it's not going to be easy against this Golden Knights group. Listening to head coach John Tortorella at their morning skate, they feel like they're ready to go.
Mike, this is a long way from the Rockford Ice Hogs, where you call games. But what is it that the Mammoth are doing that's making life so difficult for the Knights?
Well, I think they were very efficient in their scoring chances last game. I mean, all you have to do is look at poor Carter Hart's save percentage. I mean, he let in, one out of every 3 shots that he saw, even though I think he's been really good as Vegas' goalie in this series. So they were efficient in Game 3, but what we saw in Game 2 was what I hoped to see in Game 4, and that's the Mammoth employing their team speed to kind of skate around the Golden Knights. When the Mammoth are playing at the pace they want to play with, the Golden Knights just can't keep up with them. Utah is one of the fastest teams in the NHL, and in Games 1 and 3, we played at the Golden Knights pace. Now, luckily for Utah, they came away with a win in Game 3 and survived a lot of possession from the Golden Knights. But I'd like to see the Mammoth be a little bit quicker with their decision-making and a little bit quicker with the way they get through the middle of the ice, using some open space in the neutral zone to skate past the Vegas defenseman and maybe create some more off the rush.
So first power play in Game 2, Vegas scores. And since then, Utah has been very good in their penalty kill. Penalty kill 4 for 4 in Game 3. Has there been any adjustment, just better execution? What do you attribute that to?
I think a little bit of both. John Madden, who coaches the penalty kill for Utah, he's a 3-time Stanley Cup winner himself. He won a couple with the New Jersey Devils and then the Chicago Blackhawks as well. So he runs the penalty kill, and it's a very simple power play that Vegas has, but they're very good at it. It's kind of like Iowa football, right? Like, they're going to run it, but they just execute better than you can. They've got Jack Eichel on the wing. He kind of creates a lot of the magic, and you've got Mark Stone along the goal line, who's one of the best players in that spot in the entire NHL. But what I am, I think, most excited about from the penalty kill is that Utah has totally erased Pavel Dorofeev for Vegas. Pavel Dorofeev was second in the entire NHL in terms of power play goals during the regular season, and he hasn't even sniffed the puck on the power play in this series so far through 3 games. So the Mammoths they did give up a couple of power play goals early in the series, but they've taken away Vegas's top weapon on the power play, and now they've actually forced Vegas to make some changes because the reports coming out of Golden Knights practice was that they're changing some personnel on their power play. So that's a top 5 or top 10 power play in the National Hockey League, and Utah, after their performance in Game 3, forced them into making some personnel adjustments.
The play of, it takes a team, but there's certain guys, and Yamamoto is basically flying off the screen at me with the plays that he makes. Who are some of including him, who are some of the unsung heroes that are making this happen for the Mammoths thus far?
Yeah, I think Kyler Yamamoto is a great call out, Tim. I think he's been excellent on a line with Gunther and Cooley, and Yamamoto's a guy who is a former first-round draft pick. My radio partner, Adrian Denny, likes to call him a good roommate. He's the guy that you invited in because he needed to fill a spot in the apartment, but then all of a sudden you're hanging out with him, and you're like, this guy's pretty good. I like this guy. I want to hang out with Kyler some more. And he's been a perfect fit with Utah's 2 young superstars, Cooley and Gunther. So Yamamoto's a great call-out. I think Sean Durzi, number 50, has been really good in this series so far. Durzi had been on Utah's top defense pair with Mikhail Sergachev for a lot of the season. But when Utah traded for Mackenzie Weegar got put into that spot with Sergachev, and Durzi got basically demoted down the lineup. And he's taken this new role on a third pair and run with it in the playoffs, and he's been excellent. I was talking with Bear about him earlier this morning, and head coach Andre Tourney was singing his praises, and he does a lot of the escape work for the Mammoth. You'll see him use his skating ability to evade the Vegas pressure and help get the puck up ice. So doesn't have a lot of points in this series, Sean Dursey, but he's been helping Utah get out of jams.
Mike Folta, he's the play-by-play voice of the Utah Mammoth, kind enough to join us as he has a bunch. And we'd like to think, since you've made regular appearances on this show, Utah has gone on a bit of a run. So I think you deserve a lot of the credit for this, as well as Tim Lacombe. So there is a Barrett Hayton looks like he's super close. Jack McBain, maybe not so much. If Hayton gets back in the lineup, what can he bring?
He's versatile, and one of the most important positions in hockey is the center ice position. It's kind of like the middle linebacker position, right? It's the heart of the defense, but there's a lot of responsibility there, and that's what I equate to the center position. That's what Barrett Hayton is. Right now, Utah has 4 centers in their lineup, which that sounds like, okay, 4 centers, 1 for each line. That's what you need. But really, it helps to have more than that because you've got centers who are killing penalties. You've got centers who are double shifting to help take faceoffs. Heaven forbid one of them takes a penalty, is sitting in the box, and then you've got, your lines get shuffled around a little bit on the PK. So it helps to have a full complement of more than 4 centers in your lineup. And we can go through the X's and O's with that, maybe a different segment. But having Barrett Hayton in the lineup would allow the Mammoth to be better at faceoffs, and it would also help Utah line match a little bit more because Barrett Hayton's a very defensively responsible forward. He wins a lot of puck battles. He's really good in front of his own net and in front of the opponent's net as well. And so he helps you maybe match up some of those bottom 6 lines with Vegas's lines. So he's a versatile guy. I would kind of compare him to an Alexander Kerfoot, who we call a Swiss Army knife, but both in that vein where they're not the biggest guys, but they do a lot of the little things right, and they make life on a coach a lot easier trying to handle matchups. You
had mentioned visiting with the Knights and Coach Tortorella. What do you expect the response to be from them tonight?
I think they're going to try and impose their will again. And it was interesting because after the game, we heard from the Golden Knights that they were really pleased with the way they played in Game 3. They drastically outshot Utah. Shots were 32-12. 12 shots for the Mammoth. That's the fewest goals the Vegas Golden Knights have ever allowed in a game in their 9-year NHL history, and they lost. And they lost 4-2. So they were really pleased with their game. That being said, they're making changes at practice. They're throwing their lines in a blender, or they're changing their power play. So it's almost a little bit of mixed messaging from the Golden Knights where after the game they're saying, yeah, everything's good. We just got to keep doing that. We played really well. But now they're making adjustments and they're changing their lineup. So I think they're going to try and set the tone physically like they did in Game 1. They weren't as physical in Games 2 and 3. And that's been one of the storylines is can the Golden Knights maintain this barrage of brutality? Can they enforce their physical will on the Mammoth, or can the Mammoth outskate them? We saw Utah outskate Vegas in Game 2. The Golden Knights controlled the pace in Game 3. But in a road building, how will the Golden Knights respond? I think they're going to be really physical. I think they're going to come out hot early in periods like they have all series. And it's up to the Mammoth to use Vegas's aggressiveness against them as they did in Game 2.
So we're going to run a contest at the start of football season where the winner will get Mike Folta, and he gets to name your fantasy football team because a campaign of brutality might be my new favorite phrase. That was awesome.
My best fantasy football name this was a long time ago. Dwayne Bowe was on the Kansas City Chiefs, and I intentionally reached for him in the draft, and my team name was Skittles Taste Dwayne Bowe. I felt really good about that fantasy football name.
Yeah, that's solid. That's
I just went with Provo Renegades. You know?
Yeah, I like that, man. That's solid work right there. Hey, so when you, look, the shot discrepancy was huge. So that goes without saying that Veggie, was Game 3 his best game of the series?
I think so. I think that's fair to say. I think the team in front of him did well to allow him to see that first shot and get to rebounds as well and get pucks out of those dangerous areas. But Veggie has been excellent, and if he's seeing it, he's stopping it right now. I think you look back over the first 3 games of the series, and I don't think there's one goal so far where you look at it and say, well, he should have had that one. The goals that have been scored by Vegas have all been either off rebounds or deflections. So I think winning the battle in front of the net is important again for Utah. The Golden Knights, well, I should say Utah is one of the best teams in the NHL at keeping teams out of that slot area, which is right in between the circles, right in front of the net. The Mammoth and the Golden Knights, for that matter, are both very good at keeping pucks out of that area. I'd like to see Utah do that again here tonight in Game 4. But Karel Vejmelka, yeah, I think he borderline stole that game. Now the Mammoth scored 4 goals, so it's hard to have your goalie be the number one story when you score 4 times. But based on the analytics, the analytics folks thought that Vegas should have scored 4 goals themselves. So Veggie was great. He's been really good all series, and he can be a difference maker for this team.
You always hear the old adage that everybody kicks it up a notch for the playoffs. And I'm just curious, you've been in the Delta Center now for a couple of years in regular season hockey, and you got your first playoff. You mentioned the towels were definitely seen and felt. But what was your reaction to how that place felt on Friday night?
It was incredible, and there's a couple things that stood out to me more than just like the raw power of the atmosphere. One, I could count on one hand the number of golden jerseys I saw. Like, I'm guessing everybody just turned them in at the jersey exchange earlier
that was
that
brilliant,
day.
Wasn't it?
Unbelievable. But I know the Golden Knights are a newer franchise, so their fan base is still growing like ours is. But I didn't see any gold in the crowd, which for a playoff game, you'll at least see a little smattering, right? And there was hardly any. Another thing that sticks out about our fan base is, even though it is fledgling compared to the rest of the National Hockey League, the creativity with which people show up to the game is off the charts for our games compared to other games. Like, you look at the Bell Center in Montreal, which may be the best home environment in the National Hockey League. Everybody's showing up in jerseys and sweatshirts. Like, everybody looks the same. At our building, that's not the case. You have people wearing like sequence jackets. I met a couple fans who had like found this goalie mask maker he makes goalie masks for NHL goalies, and these fans had ordered a couple for themselves and wore them to the game. You have people in like full body Mammoth onesies. So there's all these different like outfits and headgear, and there's so much character in the crowd that you just don't see at these other buildings. Nothing against these other buildings, but there's a specific creativity and uniqueness to our fans that I think is incredible. And it was fun getting to see all the different ways that fans were expressing themselves on the plaza, the SeatGeek Plaza before the game. And then in the building, like, if you're watching the video board, you're seeing like a different character on screen basically every time they cut around the building. So that's one of the things I love too about our fan base.
You know, if you've got a big old bottle of water, I want to see you on a celly cam during a timeout.
Yeah, maybe I'll get my tea. I've got my hot tea next to me, so you'll see some chamomile just getting thrown back because we've got some great beer chuggers, water, whatever your drink of choice is. We've had some some great moments on the Bud Light Celly cam.
I mean, I would love to see a broadcast after, you knock back a drink, a beer, but I probably that's not for the best when it comes to the FCC, so I would probably avoid that, but it could make for a fun alt-cast. Maybe that's a new SEG Plus opportunity there.
Smashcast.
There you go. I like it.
The Nashcast, they're popping beers in the studio 100%.
Okay, there we
Are
go.
Are you kidding me?
Nash has got it covered.
Yeah, he's got that going on SEG Plus. So there's that's our on-camera drinking. I don't even know if they're allowed. Oh, they are allowed because it's a stream.
Yeah.
It's not TV. So the rules are a little different. But yeah, probably just water and tea for me. I'll have a couple Molson Canadians after the game.
All right. So when you're looking at the stat sheet after the game tonight, what do you want to see that would represent a win for the Mammoth?
Yeah, that's a great question because I'm stalling a little bit here for myself because the Mammoth were statistically dominated.
Yeah.
In Game 3, right? So I think Vegas is a team that is going to outshoot Utah more often than not. How about this one? How about let's go under the hood a little bit here if we could, take her into the mechanic shop. Give me the speed burst numbers. You can go to NHL Edge and check out how fast players are skating. And I think when the Mammoth are able to turn up the dial on the speed, that's when they're going to win. We've talked about that as one of the big storylines, Utah's speed versus Vegas's physicality. If the Mammoth are flying around, I feel pretty good about their chance to win the game. If they're kind of slower through the neutral zone and not able to generate speed into the offensive end, that's when we're playing at Vegas's pace. So give me the speed burst numbers as an indicator.
I love it. See,
as an old coach, I have one for you guys. Just the final score will be fine. Just the final score will be fine.
Yeah, just score more than the other team.
If you have more points than them, like you said, Mike, you would have looked at the stats the other night and it's like, there's no way. So tonight, let's just go with that one because you know what happens when it goes 3-1 in hockey, right, Mike?
Well, you can't trust anything in the playoffs. You can't trust a series lead. You can't trust a 2-goal lead in a game. Like all you have to do is watch the games from last night. Anaheim erased a 2-goal lead against Edmonton, came back and won in overtime. So that's what makes this time of year great. And Tim, that's why you're the coach, my man.
Yeah.
Well, I should just sit back and let you two golden tones talk. Your voices are they're melodic.
Hey, let me ask you this as a hockey expert. Should that have been a Anaheim goal last night?
I think it was a goal. I don't love the process of how it went down. If you didn't see it, it looked like the puck had crossed the goal line, but the goaltender's skate was covering the evidence, and so you couldn't definitively tell from video that the puck had crossed the goal line, even though if you kind of do the geometry on it, you would be able to see, like, yeah, it crossed. My issue with that, Scotty, is that it was called a goal on the ice, but here's the thing. The referee behind the net, or he was supposed to be behind the net, he was a little out of position. He never pointed at the net, which is the signal for goal, and so he didn't make a call on it. And then he huddles up with the other officials who are behind the play, and somehow out of that conversation, they come away with the conclusion that there was a goal on the ice. So now, as we know, if you're going to overturn something, you need irrefutable evidence. Well, the call on the ice is now a goal, and that makes it that is a huge advantage for Anaheim in this review situation. I don't think it should have ever been called a goal on the ice. I'm okay with it being an Anaheim win because I think the puck crossed, but it was a bit of a confusing process for me.
Well, we appreciate it. Hopefully you're calling a bunch of goals tonight for the Mammoth, and this team goes up 3-1.
Big Game 4, 7:30 tonight at the Delta Center. Can't wait, guys. And Tim, great to talk with you. Scotty, as always, we'll talk soon again.
You got it. He's the best. Mike Folta right here on 97.5, the EKSL Sports Zone.
Great voice. Other when he scores.
And he's not giving away that voice for free either.
No.
So I guess I need to shut down the karaoke.
Yeah, I looked up his bio in 2023. He was working for the Rockford Ice Hogs.
The Ice Hogs.
I think I need a jersey of the Ice Hogs. I've heard ice dogs, but the ice hogs?
The Ice Hogs.
Bring them on.
See, that's why I love.
They have good names in the minor leagues.
They really do.
They have
Right?
some good ones.
AAA baseball, minor league hockey.
Trash Pandas. I mean, come on.
Yeah. And I mean, frankly, every Wednesday we're home of the dirty sodas.
The dirty sodas, yes.
See, I need to get one of those jerseys. That'd be.
We got to go to a game.
Yeah,
I'd
absolutely.
like to take a game with you guys.
Let's do it.
If you'd be
We
seen
need to
with me
get
in
Tim
public.
doing like a first pitch.
Ooh, we can arrange that. You ready to throw out a pitch?
Skip that thing in there, but I'll get her there.
Hey, no. Yeah,
No,
Practice a little
I'm
bit before.
confident. No, I'm good.
you'll Bear Bachmeyer that thing.
Come on.
You're not going to Mendoza that thing.
Whatever I do, I won't apologize.
Can't be any worse than the last guy.
I'm like Shaq. Who was the last guy?
All right.
Off the air?
Some people are just they can't throw
Like Fernando.
balls. Yes.
Yes.
Just like that.
Yeah. All right, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone, 1229. Hope you're having a tremendous Monday right here on the Zone.
I sold my car in Carvana last night.
Well, that's cool.
No, you don't understand. It went perfectly. Real offer, down to the penny. They're picking it up tomorrow. Nothing went wrong.
So, what's the problem?
That is the problem. Nothing in my life goes as smoothly. I'm waiting for the catch.
Maybe there's no catch.
That's exactly what a catch would want me to think.
Wow, you need to relax.
I need to knock on wood. Do we have wood? Is this table wood?
I think it's laminate.
Okay, yeah, that's good. That's close enough.
Car selling without a catch. Sell your car today on
Carvana.
Pickup fees may apply.
The best radio in Utah is right here. This is Scotty G and the coach, Tim LaCombe, on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. All right, it's rainy, it's nasty outside, and we've had a winter where we may not have had all the snow, but you've had plenty of rain, mud, all that other nastiness. You've been dragging that into your homes, into your carpets. It's time to get those carpets clean. Cole's going to help you out. Zero Res is the place to go. That's zerores.com or call 866-0RES. And Cole, you've got some great savings because we want people to get those carpets clean and get ready for spring. Look, I cleaned out the garage over the weekend. People are doing that spring cleaning. It needs to apply to your carpets too.
We like to think so. Let's get the carpets clean. Let's remember what white carpets are supposed to look like. Give us a call. We'll make that happen.
I was reading, sometimes you guys can pull out as much as like 40 pounds of dirt and gunk and all kinds of stuff when you get those carpets cleaned.
Yeah, on average, the floors get about 40 pounds a year of dirt, dust, skin, bug, whatever little crawly things you don't want down there. Unless you get professionally cleaned, they're not going to get removed. You can vacuum every day, but it's still not going to remove some of those hard-to-get things. So you need a company like us to come out with our hot water extraction to really suck out all of that stuff you don't want down there.
Cole, how long does it take? Have you come clean my carpets? What is the timeline?
Sure, we like to say about half an hour a room, right? Half an hour of stairs, room, thing like that. And then your carpets will be damp for a couple hours after the cleaning, but you can walk on your carpets right after. We just recommend, bare feet or white socks. But you don't have to worry about any detergents or anything like that. Really just lingering on your feet because we don't use any of that kind of stuff.
And that's the other thing, too. You got a lot of young families. You got people with pets, and, they don't need to be rolling around in some kind of nasty chemicals that are left there from cleaning.
Yeah, exactly. I had a niece that was just born a couple weeks ago, so I made sure to get Zero Res out just so my niece doesn't have to worry about crawling around on anything. You never know, right, what's down there. And you don't want any detergents down there. It's dogs, pets, little kids. So it's just good to know that it's clean the right way. It's a longer lasting clean because the problem with those detergents, not only do you want to touch it, dirt and things end up sticking to it. So it doesn't stay clean for very long unless you have a company like us come out.
Yeah, no doubt. And look, I've had Zero Res come out to my homes forever, and they've done such a tremendous job, and I can't vouch for them enough. 866-0RES. That's 866-0RES. Right now, you can get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned and the hallway thrown in there as well for just $119, but you got to call 866-0RES and tell them you heard it here on the Zone. Get those carpets clean, get ready for spring and into summer as well. Cole, thank you, man. We appreciate it. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. All right. So when you look at this Mammoth game coming up tonight, and I think it's really funny because I'm like, what stat should you look at? And you're like, look, I'm a coach. Just score more. Because really, you look at that stat sheet, and if I just showed you that stat sheet and you didn't see the score, and I said one team would be up 4-0 midway through the third period, you'd be like, oh, it's Vegas.
Yeah, 30-plus shots on goal to 12. I mean, this. So I just went to NHL Edge. Mike told us to visit, and it's got some awesome stuff. In the playoffs, Vegas has been in their offensive zone, now considering all strengths, 45% of the series. So, I mean, if you were just to look at that alone, they definitely have a way of ball control or puck control. Yeah. But what Mike talked about is the speed and the bursts and the opportunities that have existed for the Mammoth. And however they get it done, they just need to get it done, because you're right. The stats would indicate, like last game, my eyes told me the Mammoth dominated the game. The stats would say, that Vegas had the puck a lot more, had a lot more chances, had a lot more in their zone. But it's just the Mammoth got to keep continuing, just be that fly in the ointment.
And it certainly is fun watching them be the aggressor, too. I mean, you saw a lot of, it felt like for a lot of the first game, certainly the first game and into the second game a little bit, that it was the Knights that were kind of the bullies. And they were the ones kind of pushing around the Mammoth. And then it kind of flipped there in game 3, where there was a lot of scuffles, but it was usually because it was the Mammoth that were getting under the skin of a more veteran, experienced team. Yeah. And I wouldn't have expected that.
Those decisions are huge. I mean, it's like we had Jay on, and he said, you've got it's part of hockey. You got to stand up for your teammates. You've got to be there to rally, but there is a way to walk away and not be penalized for the fights. I think the Mammoth have done a much better job of just being more. You haven't seen the interference plays, some of those things that they had early in the series. So I think their ability to not get penalties and be a little bit more disciplined in that regard has been big as well.
So, you bring that up. I was watching the spring game up at Utah State a couple of weeks ago, and I was standing next to an old offensive lineman, and he and I were chatting. Quinn Ficklin started at BYU, then finished at Utah State. And they were letting their quarterbacks take shots. There weren't any red jerseys, so the quarterbacks were playing live. And one quarterback took a nasty shot after right there at the whistle. Could have gone either way. And the kid gets up, and this guy I was standing next to lost his mind at the offensive line. Like, hey, you run in there and you let those guys know you don't touch the quarterback like that. He goes, that's as much of a job as getting blocks, is to protect your guy and to provide a little bit of fear that if you're a safety and you came up and took a shot at a quarterback, that you're going to have 5 300-pound dudes that were going to knock your block off. And I think that's kind of interesting, because you probably, being around teams and locker rooms, sometimes teams have that, sometimes they don't.
Yeah, and that's one of the tells. I think the Mammoth, they've done such a great job of just coming up together. And in the last 2 years it's almost been magical in terms of the way it's gone. But you see that cohesion and chemistry amongst the Mammoth. I've been so impressed with just hockey subculture as I've learned more about it, and the way they do really look out for one another. The Mammoth have, in my mind, they've frustrated Vegas. To your point now, they've got Vegas in somewhat of a not desperate situation, but they're making major changes, it sounds like. They're agreeing that it's not going well out on the ice. So again, the Mammoth just have to keep pushing the pace, in my mind. They got to get rid of the puck. That's been said by everybody. Can't hold on it for too long. When it's coming to you, you have to know where it's going, because there is not a ton of space. That's one thing Vegas is doing a good job, is smothering the Mammoth. But man, just keep Gunther over there firing bombs from that left angle. Those things are things of beauty.
When you and you pointed out a quote from their coach, and when you hear a coach say, "We just got to have fun and relax a little bit," that's not a good sign.
No, to me, that's one of the first signs. When I read that today, I was like, eesh. Because what you want to be saying is, "Hey, we're a great hockey team, and we just need to do what we do." But he's starting to, intimate that there is guys in that locker room feeling pressure. And so for him to say, we've got to have fun, we've got to loosen up. Yeah, this is right there on the table for the Mammoth to take tonight. And again, 3-1, you've got a 90% chance of winning the series. So this is massive.
Go get it done.
I thought you were going to say Mammoth.
This is This
You
is
wanted to.
This is Mammoth.
You wanted
This
to.
is
It's okay.
this is
I'm
a,
not smart enough to think that
This is
way.
a Mammoth game.
This is
it's a
Mammoth game
mammoth
for them.
opportunity tonight for the Utah Mammoth.
Mammoth. Like that.
Yeah, just like
But I am really, like you, I'm loving hockey.
oh geez.
I've always liked it. I've watched it from afar. Never been that into it. But, I collect sports cards, and hockey's going to – I'm going to
Getting up
buy
there?
hockey next year.
So every year I'd watch the NHL playoffs, especially if there's a game 7.
Oh, those are the best.
And I didn't really have any skin in the game, but it's like it's game 7. I'm going to watch it. And every time I would watch it, I'd be like, I got to get into this more. I have to watch this more. And then the regular season would come next fall, and I wouldn't watch it until the playoffs. And then I'd be like, I got to keep watching this. This is great. Now that you're immersed in it, now that we have a team here and I'm watching it night in and night out, it's like I need this in my veins nonstop.
I'm watching it like I've got skin in the game.
Yes,
We do.
yeah, for sure.
And the fans of the Mammoth have been so fun to watch. There's so many great fans out there on Twitter, but my guy, there's one. There's one major guy.
Lloyd and I know who that is.
Yeah, I know him. And I love to watch him go off. But the culture here, it's so fun. And like you said, people just wanted to be a part of things downtown. And that's what Ryan wants to do this is all for community. And this hockey community, man, it's sucking me in big time.
By the way, I was at the press conference before Game 3, and Ryan Smith, the commissioner, was announcing, kind of like a state of the team, state of the union, but also made the announcement that the Outdoor Classic will be New Year's Eve, Rice-Eccles Stadium, Mammoth, Avalanche. Come on, you can't get much better than that.
How cool is that?
I mean, how cool is it? Lloyd, I want a ticket to that if you can get
You want
me
a ticket
in.
to that?
Or I want to cover it
Okay, gotcha.
with my family.
We'll be covering it.
Let's cover it as. Let's cover it. Let's cover it as a show.
I'd like to cover that with you.
And by the way, Ryan said also, like, hey, this is not just going to be a one-off. Apparently, they've got all kinds of stuff planned. It will come back down to the arena, and it's going to be a New Year's festivity. He said there's going to be a concert that's going to be massive. So
I haven't gotten called.
it's
probably not
it's
us.
Party Hounds.
It's probably
Delta
bigger
Sun.
than us. I would imagine that's a bit bigger than us. No, but dude, this is so exciting and so fun to have. Like, I know there's a bunch of Jazz fans that are Mammoth fans and vice versa, but these Mammoth fans, they show up a little different. Like Mike said, they come in with their stuff ready to go. I saw a big picture of all the women Mammoth fans that have been basically meeting since the group got here. It's why we do this stuff. And yeah, tonight is an opportunity for the Mammoth to take a stranglehold on the series. And yeah, more hockey might slow the building down a little bit and Jim Olsen, but this is what we're here for.
Well, Jimmy will find a way. Jimmy O will find a way to make it work.
They'll just speed guys up when they have to.
Yeah. I mean, I worked for Jim for a long time. And that guy knows how to motivate you.
We'll get it done.
Yeah.
Good soul.
Oh, the best. Absolute the best. All right, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. We'll stay with the hockey theme. Coming up at 1:05, Cole Bagley, our hockey insider for KSLSports.com, will join us right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Mom, can you tell me a story?
Sure. Once upon a time, a mom needed a new car.
Was she brave?
She was tired, mostly. But she went to Carvana.com and found a great car at a great price. No secret treasure map required.
Did you have to fight a dragon?
Nope, she bought it 100% online. From her bed, actually.
Was it scary?
Honey, it was as unscary as car buying could be.
Did the car have a sunroof?
It did, actually.
Okay, good story.
Car buying you'll want to tell stories about. Buy your car today on
Carvana.
Delivery fees may apply.
And the coach, Tim LaComb.
Now I know y'all are tripping.
Presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. The segment brought to you by BMW Utah. 2 locations to choose from in Murray and Pleasant Grove. Drive elevated. All right, so NBA playoffs continue on. I know we're talking a lot of NHL, but is there a series out there that has ultimately surprised you? I'm a little surprised by how Denver is just getting beat to hell by Minnesota. And it feels like Denver's just kind of, especially the way they handled the end of the game, they just kind of felt like they've rolled over and like, we're done. Like, it's almost, I get a little white flag feeling from Denver right now.
Yeah, that has been not as surprising to me because I knew watching Denver this year, like offensively out of this world.
Yeah.
But, you know, the real strength of Minnesota defensively, they're great in the playoffs. And I think when we were listening to the clip from the ESPN guys, you know, I think it was Jalen Rose that was talking about the fact that you know, Rudy's basically eliminating Jokic and Ant's eliminating Jamal, or at least making life more difficult. And they have no answer on the other end. Like, it started in game 2. McDaniels, after the game, said we need to just go at every single one of them, and that's been how they've done it. So I'm not as surprised with that one as I am the Raptors and the Cavs. You know, I thought the Raptors, if they had Emmanuel Quickly, that they actually probably could win that series. But without him, he's out the entire series with a hamstring. I thought, you know, it's going to be a little tough. Cavaliers took the Raptors pretty easily the first game. But now the series tied 2-2. Raptors win yesterday. And just looking at that box score, you know, you pay that number one guy to be that number one guy, Donovan Mitchell. 6 for 24 from the field in 37 minutes, 4 for 12 from three, and 4 for 4 from the line. It's a really rough outing. He had 20 points, but he did it on 24 shots. Harden also struggled to. I'm surprised he only took 14 shots, but he was 6 for 14. The Cavs, to me, they're in trouble. The Raptors are tough, physical. They can kind of get into you, make you have those shooting nights. And, you know, Scotty Barnes, Brandon Ingram, R.J. Barrett, they got it going a little bit. So that one's probably surprised me more than any.
And that's the thing that I've really liked about Toronto is just their level of just overall nastiness in which they play the game. And, you know, they just want to – they're like old school San Diego State. Like they just want to beat the crap out of you. And just from a physicality standpoint – the league's going one way, and they're like, oh, we're going to go the other way. And I've really enjoyed watching Toronto because they kind of have like a late 80s, early 90s feel to them.
They actually do. It's a great call. And, you know, they kind of play in that mid-post area. They play a lot in the paint. But, you know, Ingram's unique because he's so long and big that he can really create shots in isolation. Often has a smaller guy on him. So they got ways they can play. Really, Cavs have to now go back and try to take hold of this series. I wish Quickly was coming back because I think that would ensure that Toronto probably would win this series. But 2-2 now, and going back to Cleveland, we'll see how it shapes out.
All right, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hey, sweetie, your mother showed me this Carvana thing for selling the car. I'm going to give it a try. Wish me luck. Me again. I put in the license plate. It gave me an offer. Unbelievable. Okay, I accepted the offer. They're picking it up Tuesday from the driveway. I haven't even left my chair. It's done. The car's gone. I'm holding a check. Anyway, Carvana, give it a whirl. Love ya.
So good, you'll want to leave a voicemail about it. Sell your car today on
Carvana.
Pickup fees may apply.